Um, Friend of mine shared it on Instagram. So my friend Emma Houston shared the playlist Jam on Instagram as creating these sort of these digital content-based films. And it's sort of like as a coming together of people created, doing a little bit of things, put it out there. And it just caught my eye because I've kind of been, making digital content throughout lockdowns myself anyway, kind of for my own sanity. So it just felt like a cool idea to kind of throw out some creative bits that was connected with other people doing a similar sort of vibe, really. That is not really a sort of song that I would ever pick to create to. It's also Coldplay not really somebody I follow or listen to ever. Probably couldn't have even named the song The Scientist. So that was interesting. That was an interesting starting point. When I did first see that was the song that I got, I was a little bit like, oh, yay, where am I going to go with this one? And I think I have kind of responded very cliche. In fact, no, I definitely have responded very cliche. But I thought I'd just go with it, roll with it, let's see what's happened. Something different, very different starting point. So the process of creating my short film to The Scientist was very different to what I would normally do. Music can often be a starting point for me as to where it goes. And because straight away it was a song that I wouldn't choose, and straight away it was a song that hit me with a lot of cliche feelings and thoughts and ways of portraying, that kind of just took me straight into trying to portray that sort of idea. And the idea was that very much about human connection, human touch. And I know the stimulus to begin with was love. And obviously there's a lot with everything that's going on, human touch and human connections physically is something that's probably been missing for a lot of people. And so I kind of just followed with that as the process and kind of dragged my wife into the equation. And kind of just went with the flow, to be honest. Time frame wise, it was quite difficult, especially getting the editing done as well. So time frame, having a week to do it with everything else that just springs up in this world, like having to do your weekly shot. So that was very interesting. So creating the video from a starting point, such as the stimulus of this track, has been quite an overwhelming stimulus. I think within this week and this time frame that I had and everything else that was going on, I very much let that drive me, because that wasn't something that I would organically use. I did find that difficult, and I think because of the time frame and with other constraints in place, it was difficult to then steer away from the sort of avenue that was already going on. So I kind of just steamrolled with that idea so that I had got something, and just kind of tried to not be precious about that, because I just thought, just go with it. Just make it whatever it is, and it'll be what it is. And hopefully it'll turn out to be something that that's interesting. Yeah, I'm happy with the outcome. As I said, I dragged my wife into the creation of doing it, and that was something that I definitely would never have done before. Well, not I would never have done, but it's something that I probably organically wouldn't have done, especially not in terms of creating sort of digital content. I've never really done that before. So that was quite nice and quite interesting. So I was quite pleased with the sort of the way that manifested. So from the beginning of seeing sort of a friend share it on social, share the playlist Jam on social media, to sort of through the edit, through the filming, through doing it. I think the one thing that I did learn, or sort of just had reiterated, which is very, it's happening a lot at the moment, but is the importance of the digital world, especially currently, and actually as much for all it, because there's a lot of demons and devils within that world and what it represents. But I think the way that it can help us connect is something that is really great. And I'm speaking right now to two people that I've never ever spoke to or seen before, and to me that's quite genius, and it's nice to be reminded. So it's not necessarily something that you learn, but sometimes it's like relearning that there are other people out there trying to connect, trying to do their thing. And it's just real nice to be able to be reminded of that and relearn that other people are out there trying to do their thing too. I think what it is a case of, it's a good time frame, because I think being overly precious about something like this is not really it's not that helpful. I think to be able to just attack it and go for it and see what happens, and we all make work sometimes that's shit, and that's cool. Like, you learn from that, and that's great. And to not worry about doing that, because I think the whole idea of sharing and connecting is not about necessarily making a masterpiece, or it is that connection and doing that. So the week does eradicate that over preciousness and fine tuning and going back, and actually a week is good for that. It's just a case of, as an artist wanting to do something to your best. I think that's where, especially with the editing process, that's where the week is tight, but I think that it's good. I think that it being tight is actually good. So it's always nice to support and be a part of this crazy moment where people are trying to do something new, because the world's different now and we've got to.
Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Now let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming in tails, heads on the sides apart. Nobody said it was easy. It's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be this hard. Oh, take me back to the start. Just guessing at numbers and figures, pulling your puzzles apart. Questions of science, science and progress did not speak as loud as mine.